There are many Windows-based laptops in the market, but not like this one. See, you could connect this with a tablet to function as a second screen and freely move your apps around. You could have full access to your phone's apps, messages, and notifications with phone mirroring. You could use this laptop to type on your phone, easily drag a file from the laptop and drop it on the phone like that, and you can transfer very large files wirelessly at crazy high speeds. And all of this is possible if you've got this, a Samsung Galaxy Book 4 series laptop, along with a Samsung phone and of course, a Samsung tablet. And guess what? This is not just a laptop. It's also a touchscreen that goes all the way around and can be one giant tablet if that's what you want. But it gets better. It comes with an S Pen, and so this is one hell of a productivity machine. And so if this is something that you're interested in, then sit back and let me take you through it. So firstly, the Galaxy Book 4 series, it comes in 5 variants: the Book 4, the Book 4 360, the Book 4 Pro, Book 4 Pro 360, and a Book 4 Ultra. Of course, the pricing, the storage and RAM options will vary by the country, and these are the ones you get in India. And the one I have for this video, that is the Book 4 Pro 360. And it's all quite beautifully designed. It's got the ultra book thin factor, very lightweight despite the large 16-inch screen size. It doesn't feel bulky and actually feels really slim. Look at that lid, it's extremely sleek and has good resistance at quite a lot of angles. The woofer and speakers are placed behind this very minimal mesh at the back and some heat venting space just behind the lid and underneath over here. You've got 4 of these anti-slip pads so that the laptop remains in place as you open and close the lid. It's also got all the essential ports you'd need, including 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and an HDMI 2.1 port. Also, it's got this fingerprint scanner right here. So, you can use it to unlock your windows or to sign into apps and websites. And it's a beautiful screen. So this is an AMOLED display, which tends to be, very color accurate compared to LCDs or mini LED displays. It's quite sharp with a 3K display and smooth. And it's got that 16:10 aspect ratio, which I think is a very efficient aspect ratio. It just gives you more height to work with instead of more width. I like it. But Samsung did quite a few things to make sure that you have good visibility even outdoors in daytime. Look, first of all, it's quite bright by itself. But on top of that, this laptop has Samsung's Vision Booster tech, the same tech that you see in their flagship smartphones. So if the laptop detects there's too much light around you, what it'll do is balance the light and the dark areas on the screen in a way that your visibility isn't impacted. The other thing Samsung did with the Book 4 is make it less reflective. Guys, I've used the Galaxy Book 2 and the Book 3, and I can tell you that this at many more angles reflects a lot less light, and that is great for visibility. But now, let's come to the part that actually matters a lot more. So how is it for everyday productivity? How is it for creators, like for photo and video editing? And what about gaming? And when it comes to productivity, I can't think of any other Windows laptop that can do what this can do, especially if you've got a Samsung phone and a tablet. As I showed you guys in the beginning, this laptop works beautifully with your phone. So if I get a notification on my phone, it pops here on my laptop from where I can easily just respond. And all of that is through this Phone Link app. It doesn't even have to be just notifications. I can access all the apps and open them here and use them. I can just drag a photo and drop it on my PC or straight onto a Word or a PowerPoint file. And I can even make calls from this laptop or receive calls on this laptop without ever lifting my phone. And look at this. I can transfer very large files between my devices wirelessly at extremely high speeds. So this is nearly a 3 GB file that I'm sending from my phone to my laptop. And it's happening wirelessly within seconds. And this is basically Samsung's Quick Share, which works across all Samsung devices. And in fact, Windows is adopting Quick Share instead of Nearby Share. So it's going to work with pretty much all Windows laptops. There's also multi-control with which I can use my laptop's keyboard and trackpad to go from my laptop screen to my phone screen and use it to type a message to someone and then get back and continue. And if I have a Samsung tablet with me, I can quickly set it up as a second screen and have a 2-monitor setup, making it really easy for me to work efficiently on the go. It's also a 2-in-1 if you want it to be. Because it can revolve 360, I can just use it to watch something, read stuff, and even just to make notes while I'm researching. And by the way, you get this S Pen free of cost in the box, so you don't have to shell out any extra money for it. And you can just use your, if you've got a Galaxy Note series phone or the S23 Ultra, the S24 Ultra, you can use the S Pen from within the phone on the screen, and so that way you don't have to carry this. Also, generally what I've seen is that laptops tend to have these 1080p webcams that aren't as good. And given the number of virtual meetings we have these days, you want to look good. And so you could actually just use your Samsung phone's camera as the webcam, which obviously is going to be a lot better in quality. Now let's talk about what's in it for creators and how is it for gaming. But for that, we've got to understand the specs first. Look, the Galaxy Book 4 series, it now comes with Intel's new Core lineup of processors instead of the Core i5 or the i7 CPUs, and they're built specifically for laptops. Basically, more power, less battery consumption, you've got twice as good graphics with Intel's new Arc graphics, and twice as much AI computing power. And as you climb up the variants, you also get more RAM options, but the one that I have has 16 gigs of RAM. And guys, one more thing, none of the Galaxy Book 4 series laptops have a dedicated GPU or a graphics card, except for the Book 4 Ultra that has the NVIDIA 4070. But that's not available in all regions. I know it's there in the US and it's not in India. But anyway, I tried editing 4K videos on Premiere Pro, and well, it works if you're using it for casual content creation. It will definitely slow down in terms of playback if you start using very heavy footage in terms of bitrate or adding a lot of animation or effects. Of course, for things like Photoshop or Lightroom, this is more than sufficient. I mean, it's going to be a breeze on this. Now, for gaming. Look, this is not a gaming-centric laptop. I mean, if you look at this, it's a pretty good-looking, premium, sophisticated laptop that you can carry to office. It's great for professionals, but not really for gaming. Anyway, if you still want to play games, I think games like Valorant or Apex Legends, that would play just fine. I mean, you won't get crazy refresh rates or very high graphics or anything, but it would be decently playable. Now, speaking of performance, let's talk about battery performance. And Samsung claims that it's got an all-day battery life. I mean, whose day are we talking about? My days are long. So here's the deal. This laptop, it's Intel Evo certified, and it's got Intel's new core processors. So these laptops have chips that are really efficient in any powerful ultrabook that you will see in 2024. And having said all of that, I was getting close to about 7 to 8 hours of non-stop performance over a single charge. I mean, I generally use a couple of Chrome tabs, Slack, email, listening to music every now and then in the background, watching something on YouTube. That's about it. I mean, nothing too heavy, just a mix of everyday apps that, you'll end up using. I mean, I feel majority of the people have similar use. And for that, if you get 7 to 8 hours on a single charge, that's good. And this laptop comes with a 65-watt charger, just the way it did with the Galaxy Book 2 and the Galaxy Book 3. And by the way, you can use this charger itself to charge your laptop, your phone, and your tablet. So all three with the same charger. Now, let me just touch upon a few more things before I end the video. So, there are quite a few AI improvements on the device. For example, with the camera, it's got things like auto framing and eye contact and blurring your background with more accuracy. There's also photo remaster in the gallery app that can fix dull photos with just a tap of a button. And AI is also used for cancelling noise when you're using the microphones on this device, for your calls, like voice calls or video calls. Next, the speakers are placed right here on the back side. It's got 2 subwoofers and 2 tweeters. And I think they're actually quite loud, which is okay for calls and watching videos. But keep one thing in mind, that it's a very thin laptop, so you may not get the bass that you might be looking for. And by the way, it does support Dolby Atmos, and it is tuned by AKG. Let's also talk about the typing and the trackpad experience. So it's got a nice and large trackpad, which gives you a lot of room to navigate freely. The clicks are quite shallow, so you can get them to activate pretty quickly. The keyboard, as you can see, is a full-sized keyboard, and this is what it sounds like. I mean, it's not the best keyboard out there, but it's still good, though I do wish that they could increase the key travel slightly for a bit more comfort. And guys, lastly, I want to touch upon security. So Samsung uses the same enterprise-grade security that it does for its flagship smartphones, which is Samsung Knox. And it uses a discrete security chip to protect the OS, the chipset, and the system data from any malicious attacks that may happen, which you may be completely unaware of. Now guys, considering the fact that the amount of data we store on our laptops, it's got biometrics because it's got fingerprint scanning. I'm sure you store a lot of your passwords for various websites whether it's through Chrome or through Edge. And so there's a lot of this kind of data that needs to be kept very secure and private and cannot be breached. And that's where I think having something like Samsung Knox on your laptop on top of the security that Windows already provides is great. Now guys, one thing that I still haven't touched upon is, does it get hot? And honestly guys, the kind of things I described that I was doing on this laptop, which is, a bit of everything, not once did I found this to be hot. Now, please keep in mind, I'm not doing any super intensive workload kind of things, like rendering high bitrate 4K videos or gaming for that matter. So the opportunity for it to get very hot actually never happened. And yeah, if it's just everyday work, you'll be fine. Anyway guys, I think that's all the dope that I had on the Galaxy Book 4 Pro 360. And I think it's a no-brainer laptop for someone who already has a Samsung phone and or a Samsung tablet. And I think adding this to the army will just complete the ecosystem. And it's clearly a very high performance laptop for everyday office work. And there will not be a moment where you would find this to be insufficient. Now, you can also get yourself the Galaxy Book 4 Pro, which is going to give you pretty much the same performance, except it's not going to be 360, but it will save you a couple of bucks. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. If you still have any questions, comments, doubts, please ask me in the comment section. I'll definitely help you out. And if you guys did enjoy watching the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification icon, and mark all. Really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.